Are you tired of not being as consistent as you would like to be? Good, because today I am going to show you 5 mistakes that I see made regularly out on the pickleball court. Fix any of these mistakes and you will improve your consistency. Now, if you'd like a more step-by-step method, we have a class inside of the Better Pickleball Academy to help you eliminate more of those unforced errors. Hey everybody, my name is CJ Johnson, and together with my partner Tony Rari, we are betterpickleball.com, and we're dedicated to providing you a variety of resources to help you play your best pickleball. So let's go ahead and let's jump into those mistakes. Mistake number 1, your grip, how you're holding the paddle. So first of all, how you hold the paddle is your only connection to the paddle. So if you have a grip that's less than optimal, meaning it works well on the front side, maybe it doesn't work so well on the back side, or perhaps it's too much into the palm of your hand and not enough in the fingers of your hand, you're going to have a difficult time controlling your shots. And it doesn't matter if it's a short shot like a dink or something in the transition zone, or you're back at the baseline. So a grip that allows you to swing the paddle in an efficient manner, that also doesn't put a lot of stress on your arm, is imperative. Now, the grip that we recommend is what's called a continental grip. And it's a grip like if I were to reach out my hand as I'm going to be shaking someone's hand out in front of me, that's the grip that I would want to have on my paddle. So an easy way to do that is I'm right-handed, I'm going to take and I'm going to hold my paddle right now in my left hand. I'm going to take my right hand and I'm just going to put it here on my paddle, and then all I'm going to do is move it down here to the grip. And what you'll notice here is as I grip this, my hand forms a little bit of a V here. Not a little bit, forms a V. So it forms a V here, and that V is slightly off to the side. That puts the paddle in a position that's good for both a forehand as well as a backhand. It's the most universal grip from one side to the other side. Now I'm going to give you one little caveat here. I know that there's a lot of players out there who come from another sport. Perhaps you come from tennis, maybe racquetball, some other sport where you have a grip. Ping pong players, right? Ping pong players sometimes have a pretty extreme grip. If you've played that sport to a pretty high level, or you've played it consistently through the years, use the grip that you bring with you from the other sport. Now, even though it might be less than optimal, you are accustomed to that grip. And there are a few things that are more painful than making a grip change if you're accustomed to a specific grip. So if you bring another grip with you, use that grip. If you find out later on that it causes you problems, then it's likely worth making the change. But go ahead and start with that grip. Let me show you that from the continental grip from a different angle. So again, I'm holding the paddle in my non-dominant hand. I'm going to put my playing hand, my dominant hand, on the paddle face, and I'm just simply going to slide it down onto the grip and then close my hand. And you're going to notice that I have the V off to the side of the grip. It's over here on the bevel of the grip. Mistake number 2, it's going to be footwork, specifically some of our lateral footwork. Now, there's so many things that I could talk about when it comes to footwork, but I think I'm going to take the first, the most basic one that I see happening all the time. And it's not moving from a ready position. As I'm standing here and I'm fairly flat-footed. I'm not bending much, I'm fairly flat-footed. You notice there my weight was actually back here on my heel while I was doing that. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to have the weight up on the balls of your feet so that you can move when the ball comes to you. It makes it easier to move. In this case, I'm moving backwards, or if I'm here and I need to move laterally to the shot, it makes it easier for me to move laterally to the shot. So when you're anywhere on the court, get onto the balls of your feet. In fact, you should really feel like your heels are very lightly touching the ground. You don't want them implanted or standing in the ground or down into the ground. And too often what I see players do is they tend to stand very tall, very flat-footed with too much weight on their heels. So if you want to be faster, you want to get to the right place on the court, make sure you get up and on the balls of your feet. All right, so now that I'm here, I've got a nice continental grip. I'm on the balls of my feet so that I'm ready to move. We're gonna talk about the next culprit that I see that causes all sorts of problems on the pickleball court, and it's too much backswing. Too much backswing for the shot that we're going to play. So let's be clear on exactly what backswing is. So if this is the point where the ball and the paddle are going to make contact, backswing would be anything that goes behind that particular point. That's what we define as backswing. Backswing is what gives the ball energy. So the further back I take it, the more energy I can put into that shot. If I, as an example here, I'm hitting a short dink, I don't need the ball to travel very far. So I need very little, if any, backswing. I just want to bring the paddle to where the ball is and then just simply lift it over the net. That's what's going to get the job done for this particular shot. So if I bring the paddle back from that point, I'm adding extra energy to the shot. Now, that energy has to go somewhere. So it's either going to go into the ball and it's potentially going to be a pop-up for my opponents, or if I take the paddle back here, I have to literally try to slow the paddle down before I get to the point of contact. So in either event, I'm going to have a lack of consistency because that backswing is too big. So essentially for the backswing, what you want to look at, the proper backswing is whatever gets the job done. In this case, in a dink, it's a very short backswing. If I back up a little further, I need a little bit more backswing to lift that ball over the net. If I go back even further, I'm going to need more backswing. But as a general guideline, my paddle really, even on a ground stroke, right? If I'm back at the baseline on a ground stroke, there's really no reason that the paddle needs to come back past the plane of my body. The pickleball court is just simply that short, and we don't need that additional backswing. So limit the amount of backswing you have, and you're going to find yourself becoming more consistent. Let's see if you can pick out the next most common mistake. I want you to watch my stroke, and I want you to see if you can tell what it is. Here's a correct stroke. Now I'm going to show you an incorrect stroke. Did you notice? Let me show you one more. There's another version of this one. Did you notice the difference between those three shots? So the correct stroke uses my shoulder as the driver of the stroke. So I'm here and I use the shoulder. It's literally like a toss, like I'm taking the ball and I'm tossing the ball over the net. And that really can be used for most every shot we hit inside of the game. It's a feeling like I'm tossing. When I'm making that incorrect motion, what I'm showing it, and what I see a lot, is I see a lot of wrists. I also see a lot of players who use their elbow. Wrists and elbows are small muscles. And when you use those small muscles, you're going to get a lot of inconsistency with it. So in pickleball, our key driver for our shots is our shoulder. So you want to be using your shoulder, not the wrist or the elbow. We've talked about mechanical errors that occur from the hand all the way up to the shoulder. We've also talked about footwork. The final piece to it, because there's 3 pieces to every shot, would be what we inside of the pickleball system call foundation. And simply foundation is the connection between your shoulder and your foot on the court. So in foundational issues, even though I'm going to use the volley to show you some of the foundational mistakes that I see, or the mistake that we see, this can happen to you all over the court. And again, it's the connection between the shoulder and the foot. So let's see what that looks like. All right, let's take a look at some volleys and see if you can pick out the foundational errors. So what I want you to do, here's a volley, here's a good volley. What I want you to do is watch my body position, specifically looking for the connection between the shoulder and the foot on the court. It's pretty stable, isn't it? Now I want you to see if you can see the difference in that position versus this position. What happened here? Put it down in the comments below. What's happening with the foundation? If I'm here and I'm here, what's happening with the foundation? I'm breaking my foundation because I'm tilting instead of moving to the ball. So if I'm here, I need to move the ball to the ball so that my shoulders stay level. Otherwise, if I'm here and I simply reach, my shoulders drop, which now drops the paddle. That breaks the foundation. Foundational breaks are the cause of so many errors out on the pickleball court. So what you want to make sure that you do is that when you're in a position for a shot, that you are not reaching for the shot, that you are moving as much as you need to get to the shot. That way, you'll keep your foundation and you'll be more consistent. Even though we talked about 5 consistency killers, you're gonna be much better off if you take one of these and do one thing at a time. Take out your camera, videotape yourself, and decide which one you need to work on first. And if you'd like more help, check out this Unforced Errors course in the Better Pickleball Academy, because together we can train smart, live bold, and age well.